Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining today. This is Dan Lyons at the National Weather Service in Raleigh with the routine Thursday briefing. Hope everybody is doing well. Uh, Hope everybody's had a quiet week. It's certainly been a quiet week weather-wise around here, albeit a bit cold. But let's talk about the weather coming up for the next week because things will start to turn a little busier once again. So the upcoming weather pattern for the next few days, for those that are fans of warmer weather, we are done with the frigid temperatures. We had some low temperatures below freezing this morning, but that should be it. So we're done with the real cold stuff for now. It's still winter, so we will have a return of colder temperatures at some point this winter. But at least for the next 7 days, we are done with the really frigid stuff. We have had some really pleasant, nice, dry, sunny weather the past couple days, and that's going to continue today. And really, it's going to continue into tomorrow as well. Although tomorrow we will start to see some increasing clouds coming into the area ahead of another storm system that I'll talk about here in a little bit more detail. With those sunny skies today, look for temps to get up into the 60s, maybe the mid 60s, maybe even the upper 60s, depending on where you're at, maybe across eastern North Carolina, the southern coastal plain. Those areas will get certainly into the mid to upper 60s. But the big weather story really is Saturday, when we will have a storm system, you can see in the upper right image there, start to approach the area. We are expecting some showers, maybe even some isolated thunderstorms across the area on Saturday. We're not expecting severe weather, but we are expecting rain throughout the day into the evening hours. And unfortunately, being New Year's Eve, there might be, activities, various things going on. And unfortunately, it looks like the weather could be a player, during the evening hours, even perhaps right up until about midnight. So yeah, for better or worse, that might be something we have to keep an eye on Saturday evening. Good news is it'll be a pretty quick hitter because things will dry out on Sunday. You can see in the lower left image, we have an area of high pressure moving into the area. So Sunday and Monday should really be pretty nice days. No chance of rain. Temperatures will be in the 60s. No freezing temperatures or frozen precipitation or anything like that. So bottom line, really kind of a nice period Sunday, Monday. But that being said, by the time we get to the middle of next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to have another storm system coming up from the south, which is going to bring us another opportunity for showers, and some precipitation across the region. So let's talk about how much rainfall we're actually going to see. Today into Friday, you can see there's not a whole lot going on, a lot of white on those maps, so we're not really looking at any rainfall of any consequence. That Friday graphic that you see, those real light green values that you see there, that's probably not going to arrive until real early Saturday morning. So by and large, today and all of Friday should be dry across the area. By the time we get to Saturday, though, you see a lot of blue on that map. And granted, it's not too terribly heavy of rainfall here. We're looking at maybe 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall, depending on where you're at. But bottom line, as you can see, the entire state has got some shading across it. So pretty much everybody has a real solid chance of seeing precipitation during the day on Saturday. Like I said, Sunday, Monday, those 2 days in particular look dry. And our 5-day total, almost all the precipitation that the state's going to get, and certainly all the precipitation that central North Carolina is going to get, is going to occur on Saturday. And like I said, the amount should be about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Some areas could see a little bit more, maybe out toward the areas west of the triangle, maybe toward the triad, and maybe southwest of there. Though that looks like where the higher rainfall amounts will be. So I wanted to take a real quick opportunity to show you what the radar could look like Friday into Sunday. So this radar animation starts this morning and runs through the day Friday. And by the time we get to Saturday, which is what's up on the screen here, you can see more showers starting to fill in across the area, eventually tapering off by Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Now, I want to stress here that this is just one model forecast of what the radar could look like Friday into Saturday evening. And this model in particular kind of shows the big picture of what's going on. So it's really important here. Don't pay too much attention to the county level specifics here, just because this image may show some rainfall across your county and not an adjacent county. That's not a guarantee that that's what's going to happen. Really, it's later today into tomorrow when we should get a look at some of the higher resolution guidance that we'd like to look at to pin down some timing and placement of where the showers are most likely to occur. But anyway, just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of what the radar could look like, especially as we get into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and of course midnight on New Year's Eve as we ring in 2023. So in terms of, rainfall, are we expecting any flooding? Well, the answer to that is not really. So, certainly no rain today or tomorrow. Saturday, there is an area that's outlined from the Weather Prediction Center that will show a marginal risk of excessive rainfall. So what does that actually mean? There's a small chance that that rainfall could be heavy enough across the western part of the state where there could be some minor flooding, maybe some runoff, maybe some low-lying areas could be inundated. But we're not talking about widespread flash flooding or anything significant or anything of that nature whatsoever. But that area is highlighted, and we'll continue to monitor that as we get a little bit closer to the event itself. I had mentioned earlier that there could be an isolated thunderstorm here or there. Certainly nothing today or tomorrow. By the time we get to Saturday, you do see that shade of light green across a portion of the state. It's not exactly lined up along US 1, but kind of as a proxy, areas from the triangle eastward, areas from US 1 eastward could see a rumble or two of thunder. At this stage of the game, we're not anticipating any severe weather or anything like that. The eastern part of the state will be the warmest part of the state, and anytime conditions warm up and we have a weather system moving through the area, yeah, we're always keeping a close eye on things to make sure nothing gets out of hand or too strong or severe or anything like that. But at this stage of the game, we're thinking just maybe a few isolated thunderstorms in those areas, not really anticipating severe weather at this point. This whole time I've been talking about precipitation above normal temperatures. We're done with the cold, frigid temperatures. I had mentioned for the next 7 days. What does the 8 to 14 day outlook show from the Climate Prediction Center? Well, the odds continue to be tilted in favor of above normal temperatures. Certainly up into portions of New England. I mean, those probabilities are excessively high. But across the mid-Atlantic, southeast part of the U.S., odds are certainly favoring above normal temperatures into the second week of January. So again, for those who are looking for a little bit of a break from the frigid temps we had, good news for sure. And what about precipitation? Well, the odds are tilted slightly in favor of above normal chances of precipitation as we go into the second week of January as well. Some of that could be influenced by that system on Wednesday, being a slow mover. It may not get out of here until Thursday the 5th, which is when this outlook in particular picks up. So some of that could be influenced by that midweek system. But bottom line, week 2 of January also looks like it'll be on the mild side and perhaps wet, but a lot of details still to be figured out, especially on the precip side of things. Finally, second to last slide here. This isn't the usual slide that I show for the drought outlook, but I just wanted to give a real quick snapshot of what the latest drought update shows. This was released today. This was released this morning. I don't have one on here from last week, but bottom line, not a significant change really at all. I guess one thing I will point out, we do have some areas of moderate drought across the southeast part of the state. On those precipitation total graphics that I showed before, most of the higher totals were actually, across the western and northwestern part of the state, really the areas that don't have drought at the moment. The totals in the areas that really need the rain didn't really look that significant. Maybe a quarter to a half an inch of rainfall is forecast in those areas where they could really use it. So we'll see how much we actually get, but I would not expect much change in the drought outlook by the time next week's update comes out. So just a real quick snapshot of where we are at. for the final week of 2022. All right, so summarizing, for the week ahead, we're done with the cold temperatures. The warm temps have returned. You can see in the snapshot on the bottom here, we've got highs in the 60s, mid 60s each day. Our lowest temperature on here is going to be tonight, and that's only going to be in the mid 30s. You know, we actually have Saturday night, New Year's Eve, we've got low temperatures in the low to mid 50s. So it's going to feel mild, certainly compared to what we've had here recently. The big weather concerns, though, that we're keeping a close eye on is Saturday into Saturday night, unfortunately. So that could affect, you know, the rainfall could affect some evening plans if anybody has anything going on. But, you know, I suppose the good news is Sunday, Monday, early next week, we do start to dry out ahead of another system, which will arrive by the middle of next week.